First things first, guys. How are you?
Not too shabby.
No.
I feel like you should be paid extra to tour winter time in Europe. It's either too hot or too cold wherever you go. There's like between all the luxuries of our life in fame and decadence, people forget the suffering of a hardworking musician that is you're either too hot or too cold all the time.
So that's the big challenge this tour.
Yeah, I'll write a book about this big challenge.
This will be the concept of the new album.
Yeah, I'm slightly too hot.
Well, what I want to start, I'd like to jump back to the beginning quickly. Well, you both, you started in Gothenburg, Sweden.
Well, Mölndal.
And there are a lot of bands coming from this place. Not too long ago, I spoke to the guys from In Flames. So if we go back to when you were starting out, what are your memories of that time of trying to make it as a band or trying to form a band?
Well, in regards to the fact that there are so many other bands from Gothenburg and the Gothenburg area who made it big, most of them, if not I would say all of them, are older than us. Okay. By at least 10 years older, which means there was a lot to look up to, a lot of examples to see, like, oh, see, if they can make it, we can make it kind of thing. And I think that has been the most fruitful thing that has brought. But other than that, I think most bands have a similar story of, we had the same taste in music and we all sucked, so the auditions were very simple, like, I can do this, I can't, okay, so I got the job. I can do this, I can't, okay, so you got the job. That is how you divided instruments. And then learning to play together and figuring out, in the beginning was not even about, finding your sound or anything. Right. It was sort of like trying not to fuck up the song we were covering. And but again, like we were pretty sure that from the first day, like, oh, this is going to be good. There was no real reason for us to think that. No real reason, but it just happened. And I think the fact that there were other bands around that already had been successful, that would come from having toured all the world and then do, their final show of the tour in Gothenburg and say, it's good to be home, because we've been everywhere. We're like, wow. So we got to see that. I imagine like in France that Gojira will now help billions of French small town bands to get the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember maybe a gig early on that you went to? One that sticks out?
As an audience?
Yeah, just
when we first met, we usually met on concerts, sitting outside in the line from...
Sitting first in line was very important to do.
From lunchtime or earlier, and just sit and wait for whatever band it could have been.
One that is funny to me is, speaking of In Flames, we went to see them in Trädgården without knowing each other. Right before we met, I think that would then later become a member in Avatar, every member was there kind of independently from each other, seeing the same concert.
We were all these fan kids, that just sit out and wait, and our first row and headbang
and waited by the tour bus to say, I don't know what to say.
Get an autograph.
Yeah. What thing gave you this passion for music? What got you into it?
Into music in general?
Yeah, because like you say, you like to be in the front of the line. So what
aspect of it? I don't think I don't know how easy it is to put that into words.
Right.
But I think most people who are deeply into some kind of music knows that feeling, and because music in general. In my household, my parents put me in piano lessons when I was 4 or 5 years old. I suck at piano, so it's not a Mozart thing going on with early age or anything, but at least I did that. And I was always playing some instrument and some interest in music. And then I don't know, then you hear double bass drums being played very, very fast, and that answers all your problems you have as a 13-year-old. Solves everything. And what's the meaning of life?
So was it immediately at that age you thought, okay, I'm going to try and form a band and go into music?
I think more in your case.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had common souls nearby immediately there in the beginning,
Right.
who both, who played and were into metal and all that. It took a bit more searching for me.
So when did you find John?
I was in another band, and not a metal band, more like whatever we could think of. In the Friday nights we would jam, based in funk. No one really knew what it was, but it sounded cool. And anyway, 2 guys in that band had been trying out with Avatar, although no one, those 2 guys didn't really like metal, didn't really know what it was. But they knew I did, so maybe I wanted to be in that band too. So I did, and then I left the other band because I would rather be in Avatar.
Okay. And, well, as like you say, in the beginning it was mostly you just liked to play and that there wasn't really, you weren't thinking about a sound yet. When did it start to develop? When did you...
Well, I think we wanted to think of a sound. I mean, we were teenagers, so we were very pretentious about it, but I just think we weren't able to.
Right.
Again, it took a couple of months before we realized, if you tune the guitars this far down, maybe we need thicker strings so they stay in tune. It's on that level in the beginning.
Since we were so young, as we were when we started out, we kind of grew up learning how to play the instruments together, like always in the band. Like the first time Henrik, our bass player, even touched the bass guitar was on his first audition for Avatar. So,
can you play? No, but you have long hair and you're a cool guy.
Yeah, so
we'll teach you. We will write you really hard bass lines.
Yeah. Do you remember then the first show you played?
Yeah, very well.
Mölndalsrocken is the first, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and that is also that the rule. It was like a local battle of the bands kind of competition thing in a youth center setting. And we had only had covers up until that point. But we were told that you have to play one original song, and we panicked. So in a week, Jonas came back and had put 13 riffs in a row. and we call it Hymn to the Victim of the Liar, because long titles were cool. And I remember the counting and the first riff declares.
That's right, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Was counting in half.
Our set list was Hymn to the Victim of the Liar.
No, wait, we started with Clayman.
Yeah, we started with Clayman, By In Flames. Then we did Hymn to the Victim of the Liar, and then we wanted to start on top, so we ended on top, so we ended with Raining Blood.
So we hid our own song in the middle.
How did it go?
I'm blind as a bat, and since this was the first time I had been on stage in this metal setting, I didn't realize that maybe you should leave your glasses off stage, so they flew off. Woohoo! Crap! Which was also bad because I have cheat sheets with the lyrics on that I couldn't read anymore. But I remember it as a very magic moment. That was the best rush I have had on stage with a band. It was so cool, and so many friends were there. They're like the audience. It felt huge and wild. I'm sure it was 5 people headbanging or something, but in the end it felt insane.
Sure.
As it does in that age. But then but then we ruined it by watching video of it.
And realized that this was not so very tight.
Oh, wait, there was one video was filmed, someone standing kind of on stage. So there you only heard, and that was awesome. I watched that one over and over again. But then we got kind of like the official filming that the youth center, the grown-ups have done, where you could clearly hear what was going on. We watched that once and never again. It's so bad.
Jonas had his distortion on max on the amp. Yeah. Plus he had a Boss, metal zone, the distortion pedal, and he had that max too. So every time it was like, every time I wasn't playing, it was like just this feedback, like. Right.
So, but at this point, and then I kind of suspect an answer, but what was the ambition? What did you think was going to happen with that band?
Of course that we were going to be bigger than Metallica and Iron Maiden combined. Of course, like that is something you think, that is how you reason at that age, and again, and because Jonas had broken the dam with providing that first 13 riffs in a row, calling it a song thing, that also opened suddenly, okay, we needed that push, I think, because after that we started to think a little bit more, and when we were writing, like, of course, no masterpieces immediately, But it was a big turnaround. Again, Jonas did the riffs, the music for War Song, which is on our first album, and also was on our first demo. We sounded like, wait a minute, I like this a lot. And you did, so we, and I can do lyrics on this, and I can like, and we all like this. Oh, we have, and that can't have been long after.
No.